Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Tactical Roundtable podcast. I know it's been a minute since I've even really uploaded a lot of content, let alone, um, you know, doing a Tactical Roundtable with the one and only G Money Mozart. But welcome, everybody. Please do let me know the audio levels because this is actually the first time that I've actually used this new microphone for Attack Roundtable. And I just got a new GPU today, so just kind of sorting out all the kinks and stuff like that. So let me know how the audio is. But without further ado, let me introduce the man, the myth, the legend, G Money Mozart. How's it going, sir?
Yo, what is up? What is going on, everybody? What's going on, chat? How's everyone doing out there?
Low, very low. I'm very low. Okay, so we're gonna turn this up.
Turn the
How about now? Can
volumes
you guys
up.
can you guys hear me better now?
What kind of mic did you get?
I don't know. Oh, I got a Elgato Wave 3.
Oh,
So
fancy,
sounding
fancy,
good. Turn
fancy.
it's low, very low. Just kind of working the kinks and stuff out of it. Yeah, so I changed it. I changed the audio a little bit. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Let me know how G sounds if you guys can hear G and
Actually, yeah,
everything is
let me
good.
hear.
Sounds good. Sounds good. G sounds different.
Yeah, you sound good.
You sound good. All right, guys. So we have a kind of a number of different topics to talk about tonight. Not everything is technically Ghost Recon. We're gonna be dabbling in a few other things, but it's probably only gonna be about an hour and 15 minutes or so, because G's got to go to sleep. G's got to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm an old man. I got to go to bed.
So I think first things first. Welcome everybody back. Like I said, I know
First
it's
things first, Murad with the
Murad.
$10
Oh,
dono
nice. Yeah, Murad. Thank you so
bomb.
much for the dono, bro. I appreciate it, buddy. But yeah, it's been me and G actually talked about this earlier today. It's been like 5 months, 5 months since our last tactical roundtable, and it's been 5 months pretty much since Operation Motherland released, and we've been radio silent from the developers until a couple days ago. So I figured that would be a good starting point. We got the official announcement from the developers over at Ghost Recon just the other day that they are completely ceasing any new content or any development moving forward with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And I would say this is out of G's mouth the other day in his video. Breakpoint is dead. Breakpoint is finally dead. It's 2.5 years post launch,
Mhm.
and pretty much they're going to be hanging up their caps and hopefully from leaks moving on to the next game. So, how do you feel about basically them completely cutting off content? No Moa Island, no wrap up to Nomad Story, even though we've been playing with that crew for the last like what 5 years, and we don't really get a wrap up to his story. What are your thoughts on that, Mister?
Well, first of all, it wasn't much of a story, I
Yeah,
guess,
that's true.
considering,
That's true.
right? So we come from Wildlands. Wildlands wasn't that deep, and now what they tried to do with Breakpoint, I guess, was a little more deep. It had that type of Witcher 3, Assassin's Creed, cinematic storytelling, and I mean, it was bad to begin with, but I really don't think Ubisoft knew what they were doing the entire time. Not only were the technical developers, not only did they seem a little lost, but the writers seemed very lost in the directions they were trying to take the game. From the original story to episode 2 with Sam Fisher, to all the free content that came out, the Rebels, Amber Sky, to what was it, episode 3 with Trey Stone. It just everything was so all over the place. Nothing had any type of closure, I felt like, other than us killing bad guys.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, I mean, look what they did with Motherland. When Motherland dropped, it was, uh, "Hey, I'm glad to be back on Aroa, Bowman." And it's like we everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Wait." We were all the entire community was like, "Wait, what? Nomad got off the island and now he's back?" So at this point, I think everybody's just like, whatever. We kind of just want more gameplay because we all know the story was trash. And I'm a little surprised for I guess the main reason why I'm surprised is that I felt like Motherland finally got the game to a place where the community as a whole really responded positively to it, and we were happy where Breakpoint had kind of gotten, especially with the dynamic mechanics that they made for Motherland, where you're actually changing things in the game world depending on what you do. And I think more people would have liked to seen that, especially on something like Moa Island, where they could have built out a few more provinces, maybe not new game assets. They could have maybe rinsed and, recycled some game assets, maybe made some new ones for different types of buildings, but kind of kept those mechanics moving forward. And I assumed that maybe if they were going to try to make a little bit more money out of Breakpoint, maybe they'd have like a $20 DLC, $30 DLC, but, they cut their losses. I think it's not that we didn't see it coming. I think if they would've had a paid DLC or more content, maybe I think that's something we wouldn't have seen coming, like, "Oh, wow, we're actually getting more stuff in year 3." So the fact that we're not getting anything in year 3 and the game is officially dead, especially there's still a lot of bugs, things are still broken, so it's probably better for them that they cut their losses. I I would assume when they open up Anvil Next 2.0 and they're looking at Breakpoint and what they need to do with it, it's probably such a headache that they're just like, "Yo, guys, let's cut our losses and let's start something else," because it's just too much trying to rework everything in this game. Already, I was playing yesterday and they tried to fix, I know the animations, the stealth kill animations were broken with your pistol out, and it's
Yeah.
still broken. It looks even worse now. So the game is just really, really to the point where it's time to cut their losses and move on to something else.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's been a lot of actually mixed feelings from the community, I guess you could say, with that because I've seen a lot of people, and there was even a petition, like not throwing shade at anybody, there was even a petition that was going around because people wanted to have more content.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. I respect everybody trying to do that, but you can't a petition is like, "Hey guys, let's petition for, to get this gun in the game, and then the next update you get a gun." But when a studio says, "Hey guys, we're closing it up," you can't petition that. They're not gonna come back and be like, "Oh shit, 100,000 people said they want a little more content. Okay, we're coming back to it." But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, I don't see them actually listening. When it comes to that, definitely, if they were
Yeah,
basically saying,
no.
we're going to cut our losses, we're done, all
Yeah,
that, they're not getting more content. I understand the standpoint from people wanting more content, more, more of a story and, that kind of thing, because we didn't really get any closure. But my personal opinion, not everybody shares my opinion, but I'm kind of glad that they, kind of signed the death certificate
yeah,
for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And then shortly after that, there was something that leaked that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But going back to it, I do give the developers props for the direction they did kind of take the game from launch, because launch was a mess, absolute
yeah.
mess. We got
Agreed.
the immersive experience. We eventually got some of the different DLCs that added cool stuff. We got Operation Motherland, which definitely was Ghost Recon Breakpoint's best form, best version. And I definitely hope that they use the kind of the backdrop from Operation Motherland and use those systems in a future title, because there was a lot of really cool things in Operation Motherland, and it took them a long time to get to it. It took them a long time to kind of get the game where it needed to be. And if you think back, if the entire game played like how Operation Motherland did, and it played like that from launch, you're talking about an entire different scenario right now with
Yeah,
where the game could be, where the game could be going if they
yeah,
would have launched it in that state. So,
yep.
yeah, I don't see them definitely going back on any of that, no matter how many, people say they want new stuff.
No,
I'm
no.
okay with it. I'm kind of ready to kind of put Breakpoint away anyway. Like, it's a fun tactical shooter. I do go back and play it from time to time, but it just, I don't know. I still got the
It
sweet
ran
spot for
its course.
Wildlands. So yeah,
Yeah,
it definitely
it
launched in a
ran its
bad
course.
state, and instead of working on making the game better and adding content, they were playing catch up to fix everything that was messed up from the start,
Yeah.
which is not how
And
you want a dev cycle to go.
the entire game cycle was just basically them playing catch up, trying to get the game to a place where it worked. Because it not only what did it lack the type of content that community wanted, it was broken from day one to until they closed the doors a couple days ago. It's still broken. There's still things that just don't work well.
Yeah. Yep.
So
So I don't know if there's anything else that you personally want to talk about. Real quick, Z4KU, Zaku, not exactly sure how you pronounce that.
yeah.
Thank you so much for the $1 donation, man. I appreciate it. And then Morad coming back in with a $1.99 saying they put the budget in those bad vid promo thing. I don't know what he's talking
Oh yeah,
about.
he's saying the budget was basically wasted on marketing, Lil
Oh,
Wayne
oh my
and
God.
all that.
Oh, don't even, don't.
Yeah, and Zaku's $1 dono. He probably forgot to put what he wanted to say in it, but he said Wildlands could have been Ubi's GTA 5. Just saying, it's Jorge, by the way. Oh well, yeah, but we'll call
Okay.
you Zach. We'll call you
We'll call
Zaku
you
by your
Zaku. I won't be able to
Zaku.
remember like your name probably like unless going off of that, but
But yo,
he's
back to what
right.
you
Wildlands
what
could have been that
Wildlands?
big.
I I mean, I don't know how it could have been
Maybe
Ubi's
not GTA
GTA
big, but
5, but I know this. I know Ubisoft is very slow on uh seeing where their games should head, and instead they look at the industry and then try to get there
ugh,
later.
yeah,
I I don't
100%.
know. Yeah, so I don't know why there's not some type of GTA Online for Ghost Recon where you kinda enter the game world with 12 or 16 ghosts
Oh, don't
around
get
the
my
entire
hopes up,
world,
man.
or ghosts, half of them are ghosts, half of them are wolves, and you're kinda just out there, you don't know where each other are at. You're doing missions, kinda like how like, there's so much they could do with this game because it's such a huge open world, but instead they have their devs like Bucharest make Frontline, and I
Yep.
don't know.
Yeah, I will say
It's
that I'm
just
glad
weird.
it's Bucharest making Frontline, and it wasn't them like on the back end having Ubisoft Paris secretly start working on that instead of adding more stuff to this game.
Yeah.
Because that you're talking about the community being upset that Frontline was a thing. Imagine if it would have been Ubisoft Paris working on it, and like the community found out that it was Ubisoft Paris on the back end working on Frontline like the entire time instead.
Yeah.
It would have been like World War III. It would have been rough. But I definitely Wildlands was a great game. I still, if you basically put Ghost Recon Wildlands in one hand, Ghost Recon Breakpoint in the other hand, and like, yo, you want to go play something? Let's play something. I would pick Wildlands probably 9 times out of 10,
Really?
just
I would pick
because.
Breakpoint.
Oop, yeah, the game audio's on. Whoops, sorry, I didn't have that selected. That's my bad. But just the amount of things to do in Wildlands. Even 5 years later now, you can go back in and you're trying to do a mission. You're on your way to a mission and you see a convoy, and it's just like, yo, let's go. Let's go for that convoy. Let's go for that
Yeah.
convoy,
Yeah, there
because
are
there's a
those little
purpose to
moments.
it. Like there's technically convoys in Breakpoint, but there's really no reason to go after them.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're a max level character in Wildlands, there's not really any reason to go after them either if you have all the skills and stuff unlocked. But I definitely think the way the system and everything works in Wildlands, you go after a convoy, a Unidad truck happens to go by, you got to take down the Unidad truck, then boom, you got the entire Unidad army coming after you.
Well, that you know what? That's the only thing that, in my opinion, that Wildlands uh combat really trumps breakpoints, is that there's breakpoints combat outside of Motherland, which is a lot better. Breakpoint's combat eventually ends if you go loud with Bodark or wolves.
Yeah,
Whereas in Wildlands, you can have your stealth missions, and then you can have your all out warfare. And that's what Breakpoint really missed for the majority of its game time that it was in production or whatever being worked on, is that you could play the game, clear a base, QRF would come, and then if you kill them, that's it. It was done. Nothing else happened until you went to another base or went out into the forests and found a bad guy. But now
right.
with Motherland, it's a lot better, especially with Vandar's Spartan realism mod. You're right. I've streamed the other day. The 90% of my stream was out in the jungle, just firefights in the jungle, which
Yeah,
I feel like Wildlands kind of doesn't have that outside of the compounds, and maybe if you get in fights with Unidad, how Unidad's always coming and killing you.
Right.
And
Imagine, I feel like even if they took like the Unidad mechanic and
yeah,
did like a Unidad mechanic 2.0 and make it so like, because you're supposed to be there, you're supposed to be a ghost. That's the whole point of like that branch of military. We're supposed to be unseen. Obviously, that's not how it works in the games, but I honestly feel like, and this could even be something maybe toggleable in like the settings because, you know, not everybody would want something like this maybe. But if you broke stealth in a situation where like a Unidad mechanic could come in, make it like twice as hard or three times as hard as it was in Wildlands. Just because like the entire stealth, you're supposed to stay stealth, and if it would be nearly impossible to escape once like a Unidad mechanic was triggered. I think it would emphasize more people to go maybe a little bit slower, different gameplay mechanics and stuff to stay stealth. But then for people that just wanted something crazy fun to do, you know, you get a Unidad chase or something that's borderline impossible, you know, who knows? It's just all like
I
things that I
think
would love to see, and I'm not
I
sure if I
think
ever will.
look, I think for Breakpoint, I think yourself, I think a lot of guys out there who ignored it in the beginning because, maybe they were worried about how they'd be looked at from Ubisoft, especially you Delta guys. I think you should try Vandar's mod, man. Vandar's mod for Breakpoint really brings out the best of how we want Breakpoint or Ghost Recon to kind of feel, which is enemies should see you at 200, 300 meters if they have line of sight. Enemies should be able to shoot at you across a field at 300 meters if they have line of sight. Those things are absent in the game, the original game, and the vanilla game is completely changed with this mod. And this is something I hope moving forward with them closing the doors. There was a huge thread, probably the biggest thread on the forums about this mod, and they were radio silent on it, but I know they saw it. I know they know Nexus mods and they're looking at what people are doing. And besides maybe the battle belt, which is more of a visual thing that is, that could be tweaked later on, however they feel like they're gonna hook up the characters. This was probably the biggest change to actual core gameplay out of everything that's on Nexus mods, probably the only thing. And they would have to be blind not to see, like, maybe we can change some things up. For instance, within a new game, we should not keep moving down the path of firefights being 100 meters and closer. We should push firefights to 300 meters, 400 meters, and that not just be sniping territory. Gunfights should be crazy. And I think, or I hope that they've realized with something like Vandar's mod and all the surveys that they got for these past 2 years. I'm hoping that if this next game does come in 2024 or beyond or even sooner, that they really know what they're doing at this point because they got so much feedback these past 2 years. It would be disappointing. It would be
It'd be a
gut-wrenching.
slap in the face, to be honest.
Exactly, a slap in the face if a new game comes out and it's just the same old shit.
Yep. And on that note, too, huge shout out to Vandar in the chat. He's actually in here chilling with us.
Yes,
For
sir.
those of you guys that haven't checked out the mod, I've actually hasn't I've watched a lot of people play it. I have not tried it out myself because with like the cheat engine and stuff, I understand it's not cheat. If anything, it's anti cheat because it makes the game harder. You know, so
Well,
like
you are installing an engine that allows you in whatever game, for you to install a certain mod that can let you do whatever. That's
right,
why,
but the
it
way
has
that
that name.
everybody's going about it, basically making it the game more
Yeah, for
difficult and
Breakpoint.
more yeah, and more difficult and basically making it more in line with what it should be for being a military tactical shooter. Huge shout out to Vandar and what he's done with that, and definitely something that I want to check out. But kind of on that note of, well, real quick before we get to that, Murad with another $1.99 dono. Got to talk about Bravo Company. Oh my God, here we go. Here we
Yo,
go.
Murad, what up, bro? Shout out to you. $2 dono
Okay,
bomb.
Bravo Company. Like,
Yo, so I think they need to make the PvP just like Wildlands because a lot of people liked it. Yo, honestly, honestly, Alex, I think they need to. A lot of you are going to be angry at me for this, right? Because a lot of people think Ghost Recon shouldn't have a battle royale, and I think you're all wrong. I think Ghost Recon needs a battle royale. It needs a tactical shooter battle royale, whether it's squad based, whether it's team based. Go with the size of the type of maps Ubisoft makes and the way PUBG blew up, the way Fortnite is now with no build, which is something we could talk about. Yo, I think Ubisoft is sleeping on making an amazing battle royale. And I think the 4v4 Wildlands, the 4v4 Breakpoint type of gameplay is boring, bro. I'm over that shit. They can't even make an 8v8 SOCOM type, I don't know. I think they need to evolve their type of PvP moving forward. And Frontline hopefully is a step in that direction because it looks like they'll have the infrastructure with Frontline for 100-man PvP. So we'll see what type of PvP we get moving forward in third person, that is. So I don't know.
yeah, I kind of like with what you touched on earlier too, with like maybe going into, having it like not necessarily PvP. And this is treading on a
Oh,
very
like
thin line.
PvE/PvP?
Like what would be like I don't want to say go to this length because it's a different kind of style of game, but just throwing this out there as kind of a bad example, but like Star Wars The Old Republic. You have this massive whatever and you can see other people. Like they tried to
Yeah.
do that with the Erewhon. But like for instance, maybe having a lobby where you can have a few more people and these people are doing missions. Look at Wildlands map for instance. You and me and Penguin are over in Jimenez region doing a mission, blowing up the subs or something. And then in our game over at the Salt Flats, there's another, 3-man or 4-man that's doing the train yard, going through the train yard or whatever. And like you could just, have a couple teams, maybe even only 12 players, but you could have other people in the same map in like an online lobby where if like, and you could obviously set it to private if you want to do private, but if you want to do that, you could team up with a team of like, 4, 6, 8, 10 players and go into a mission and have some crazy fun. Or you could just kind of be in a lobby, an instance lobby where you have 12 players in there doing whatever the heck they want. You know, I just, I, being the fact that it's only 4-player co op and then like PvP is 4v4, you're never going to really attract a big audience with the way the PvP is built unless they
Mhm.
do a full overhaul. But I think
Yeah.
a lot of people would kind of enjoy something different like that.
Yeah, I
So
think
I don't
so.
know. I'm just kind of spitballing with that, but kind of going off of what you were saying with like the way with the Nexus mods and what um, that mod and the stuff in Breakpoint. This is something that I kind of want to go back to with one of the developers, or I think it was community manager talked about back around the time of the Ubisoft Forward event, and it was oh no, I didn't do the vid. There we go, got another vid going. But he was talking about a hardcore shooter. Like we were trying to give like drop ideas and stuff like that about like um a middle ground. Like we've even talked about here on the channel a lot of times. Like maybe not going as far as doing like an Arma because I feel like that's just a little bit too far for a lot of people. But it's Ghost Recon, Arma, somewhere halfway in between, a more hardcore tactical shooter. And for some reason, and I'm not trying to throw shade at the developers, but the developers feel like that's a very niche market. And I kind of want to challenge that. And this technically isn't the same type of game. It's still a shooter game. But if you look at Escape from Tarkov, that is a very hardcore game. That is what you would think the developers think as a very niche market. Go over on Twitch and tell me what the highest viewed shooter game is right now. For a while, it was Escape from Tarkov, and that's been out for like 5 years now. And it's still extremely relevant and extremely popular. And if anything, it's just gaining more popularity. Earlier this year, when they had the newest update, like their servers were like the queues on their servers that they had to put in place because the amount of players that wanted to play that game. You don't necessarily have to like fear away from making a shooter more hardcore, especially if they do like what they did with the tactical experience, allowing you to like custom tailor how you want to play the game. But you would get a lot more attention and a lot more eyes on the Ghost Recon brand if you made it a little bit more, let that scale go more towards that hardcore. Because there's a lot of hardcore players that come over and like even like for instance Drewski, Operator Drewski and Big Fry. Like Big Fry, yeah, I'm not I don't really want to get into anything about him, but he likes extremely hardcore games. Drewski plays a lot of Arma, plays a lot of a couple other games and stuff that are really hardcore. He comes over to Ghost Recon and it's just like, dude, it's not hardcore enough. It's not, realistic enough. And I think if they kind of went that direction, it's not necessarily a niche market. And I think if anything, some people could kind of tailor it back, make it easier like you can with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and they would enjoy it. But if you made it so that the other tier of that kind of goes more hardcore, you would attract a bigger audience and it might even push the game farther. That's, like I said, that's just kind of me, spitballing with, with the Nexus mods and the things that you can do in there, you know,
Yeah.
an actual full game release incorporating kind of some of that stuff. I don't
Well,
know.
look, this is look, Vandar just said Elden Ring proves there's a wide player base looking for challenging games. And now let's
Agreed.
just looking at Twitch, right? Grand Theft Auto, other than just chatting, Grand Theft Auto's at the top because RP is huge.
Right.
Uh we could have a huge military RP community for Ghost Recon. You have games like Valorant, League of Legends, Fortnite is up there. And then what Vandar said, Elden Ring is up there as basically there's PvP, but single player, huge fantasy game, and it's a hardcore game.
That's a very hardcore
You
game.
have you have Call of Duty Warzone, you got your FIFA, and then the Tarkov is up there as well. I mean, let's just be honest, man. Let's be honest with ourselves. Ghost Recon, there has to be a difficulty curve for those who want to play hardcore. And I still think for those of you who disagree, look, a battle royale doesn't need to look exactly like Warzone. A battle royale doesn't need to look exactly like Fortnite. But I still think Ubisoft needs to figure out how to make a really good third person co-op large quote unquote battle royale for Ghost Recon to make it to kind of push it into the popularity of PvP battle royales. It doesn't need to operate the same way. It could be smaller, it could be squad based, it could be a PvE slash PvP type of game mode, but you can't gain popularity with an arcadey quote unquote tactical shooter because that's basically like an oxymoron, right? It's like that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, like
Yeah.
Jumbo Shrimp, right? Like
Yeah.
you have a tac shooter, but it's an arcade game, so it's like that doesn't make sense. So you're not kind of pleasing any audience there. And then you have a PvP mode that's kind of it's lame, it's boring. There aren't the game modes aren't fun, and it's only 4v4. Today's day and age, you need to kind of broaden that a bit. You need to expand it. And I don't know how it would work, but I still think that there's a lot to be desired on the PvP side and like you said with the hardcore side because that's the people who want to play hardcore, they can play hardcore. The people who want to PvP, they should be able to PvP, but it still has to be mainstream because you're not going to keep getting Ghost Recon games if they sell a million, 2 million. Like they're gonna
Right.
shelf that shit just like they shelved Splinter Cell.
Yep. Yep. If they want to do something like they're looking for like Phoenix Rising kind of numbers, like that was in their eyes a very successful game.
How did that do?
I don't know the actual numbers without like googling it, but they were very pleased with the numbers, and that was
Yeah,
a new IP.
it was a good game, man. I
Yeah.
didn't finish it, and I should.
So that's a new IP. That was kind of like a new thing. Then there was the thing that, I mean, this is kind of branching into something else, but the thing that leaked the other day that was kind of like Hyperscape Fortnite. I don't remember what that was called from Ubisoft. The one that leaked the other day was a third person, kind of like Fortnite.
Oh, Pathfinder.
Pathfinder. Like, that's not a new idea. That is chasing trends.
Exactly.
That's like if you literally took Fortnite and Rainbow, like it was, I don't know if it was you that said that, but like Fortnite and Rainbow Six Quarantine and they had a baby, it would be that game.
Yo, and here's the funny part. Ubisoft will greenlight anything but a freaking Ghost Recon large scale battle royale. And I really don't know why. I know a lot of people are like, no, Ghost Recon, it's it's small groups and it's just pure stealth. It's like, yo, bro, it doesn't matter. All right. That's not what the game has to be as a PvP option.
Right.
You can have a quote unquote type of battle royale for Ghost Recon where it's small squads or it's individual. Like it doesn't matter. It could be fucking PUBG except with Ubisoft um AAA, what's the word I'm looking for? They it's clean, it's polished. That's what I'm looking
Right.
for.
Yeah.
PUBG but polished.
Right.
Like, and it does if you don't like it, cool. Just play the PvE, or maybe they could still support the 4v4s. I mean, how many of you guys in chat who are saying, I don't want a battle royale for uh Ghost Recon? How many of you guys actually play the PvP in this game? I'm willing to bet none of you because this shit sucks.
Yeah,
It,
I have not. I played a. I wouldn't say a decent amount. I played quite a bit of the Ghost War in Wildlands.
Yeah, well, I played more in Wildlands than
Yeah.
I played none in
I
Breakpoint.
still
I
I
played the
still it's
beta, I
hard
thought it
for
was
me
bad.
sometimes to play Breakpoint because I just the color palette and the aesthetics a lot of times I just cannot get past. At its
Yeah.
core, now it's not a bad tactical shooter, but like even earlier today when I was kind of testing frames and stuff on my GPU, I booted up Wildlands and I was just blinded by color. Like it was such a
Yeah,
good,
yeah, yeah.
good color palette.
Bolivia's nice.
And then I booted up Breakpoint and it was like, yeah, the trees were green, but everything else was just super washed out and
Yeah.
it was ugly to look at. But real quick before we keep going, we got actually quite a bit of donos and stuff to go down through here. So this Justin with the $9.99 dono, huge shout out, buddy. Says successful Ghost Recon PvP equals more Ghost Recon resources, plus a standalone PvE game that doesn't waste resources on multiplayer modes that no one plays. Plus, there isn't a tactical slash realistic BR game. Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say like for instance, PUBG, but PUBG, like if you put like a soft cover system and like the Ghost Recon mechanics, PUBG doesn't have that. It's and you could still do it like with Ghost Recon. Make it squad based, make it tactical. It doesn't have to be a super crazy massive map. But then you're gonna have that one side of the community, not necessarily Ghost Recon community, it's gonna be like, well, this game's a camp fest because it's a third person and there's a cover system and that's all that people do is they hide behind cover until they see you and blah blah blah. It's a tactical shooter. It's not a run and gun. It's not Call of Duty. It's not
Yeah.
PUBG. It's meant
Yeah.
to be a third person tactical.
You
That's
would you would you would think that that's what they'd appreciate it because it's like, "Oh, I got shot and I don't know from where." Like, yeah, well, that's probably
right.
how it would happen, bro.
Yep.
Like
Um,
shit.
yeah, and Morad with the $4.99 says, "I know you already in Delta, but Bravo could be the SF team."
Team that fills the gap.
Let's be
Oh, I
honest, you
think
guys are more present with
oh,
us than anyone else.
he's talking about
He's
creating
he's talking
Bravo
about like
company
me,
with
you,
YouTubers.
Havoc, Custer, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll be
Alright.
honest, dude. Me and Custer have never talked, not once. I've never
Yeah,
talked to the man.
I think I've talked to Custer a couple times. I think he stopped by some live stream. Shout out to Custer.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
Havoc,
I've seen him in a couple live streams. Yeah,
yeah,
Havoc. I've
Havoc
talked
I
to Havoc
talked
quite a
to.
bit. Bullet Catcher, I've
Yeah,
talked to
Bullet
quite a
Catcher, I've
bit.
been on his podcast. Shout
Cool
out to
guys.
Bullet.
Yeah.
So, let's keep going with this. What
Delta
do we have here?
Abyss with
Delta
the
Abyss.
$1 dono. I don't see
I don't see
anything
anything
from
from
that.
him.
Stabby McStabs with the 12-month membership.
Stabby!
He says, "Fuck me, I'm late. What's up, buddy? Good to see you." Yeah, 12 months, man.
Kingman with the
Getting there,
6
man.
month.
Yeah, Kingman Lao with the 6 months. Nice.
See what
He
he
says, "I
said.
hope the next one does good. What if they had players invade into other people's operations in a new game like Elden Ring?" So that's something that's coming to Sniper Elite 5 that I kind of talked to G about. It's invasions. Where I don't know. I'm pretty sure it tells you. I think it tells you if somebody does that in Elden Ring. I don't know. I think they were talking about possibly making it so you didn't know in Sniper Elite 5. But while you're playing through the campaign in Sniper Elite 5, and obviously you're a sniper going up against the Germans, that someone can invade your game as a sniper and counter snipe you,
That's gonna be
which
freaking
is
sick.
insane. And that
I'm
would be
joining
cool.
all your games, bro. I'm gonna fucking blow your
Dude,
head
just imagine that kind of a mechanic in like Ghost Recon.
off.
Like you're in a mission and all of a sudden,
That's
some
what I'm
dude and a
saying.
couple like another squad rolls up that's like a rogue squad or something that rolls up and tries to take you down while you're doing a mission.
Bro, that's like what dude said GTA 5. Like when you log into GTA online, it's the GTA world, except there's 20 other players around it. And imagine something like that with Ghost Recon that there's a team of wolves out there while you're doing PvE missions, and out of nowhere you can get jumped by other players. But it's a huge, it doesn't like this is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be 50-50 battle royale. Every man, 100-man battle royale. It doesn't have to look like what Fortnite looks like, what Warzone looks like. But imagine if you went into a game mode and there are four other teams, four-man squads each, and it's half the game world or half the size, and you're just out there doing normal missions, but at any point in time you could come across another team that's embedded in the game with you. Like there are so many things that Ubisoft can do for online PvP slash PvE, however you want to figure it out or finagle it, and they just refuse to. They keep doubling down. Hyperscape, Ghost Recon Frontline, they have Heartland, now Pathfinder, which we don't know anything about. They will do anything but something for Ghost Recon that's on a large scale that's not 4v4 and sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know
So the
exactly.
division.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't.
the division is just you go into the dark zone, and you're not really I guess you could consider it that. You don't really go through the PV portion of the game itself. But yeah, it could be something like that. But more like think of more like how GTA Online works. You go into the game world and there's other people there. It's not that many, but you will come across them eventually.
Yeah, and some are cool, some aren't. I know. I remember I haven't played GTA in a long time, and you could go in there and you could just, I'm gonna go screw with this guy, just go
Yeah.
mess with him, or you could be like, yo, you go to somebody's location, hey, yo, I'm having trouble with this mission, or hey, you want to team up and go, take down the train yard, or go team up and do this or that or whatever, or just roll around and take down bases with like a 6-8 man crew, just going crazy, like. I feel like with a big map, and I know they're talking about Delta Abyss said like Mercenaries is like a BR in Wildlands. That was an 8-person mode. They were kind of brainstorming with the idea, but if you and this that wasn't a tactical shooter, but like when he said that, the first thing I thought of was like the old Mercenary games.
Yeah.
Being even if you had something like and that's a little bit of a bad example, but having say that 16 players, you got 16 players and you can just go around and do whatever you want as like a mode, that would keep people around more. If you go in and you want to play co-op with friends, yeah, but there's only so much there. You go into a public lobby where there's 15 other ghosts, including yourself, and you could kind of do whatever you wanted. I think a lot of people would enjoy that.
Well, that's also another conversation as well. Moving away from PvP and maybe getting back to PvE talks, we need to get to the point where are they going to make compounds big enough so that 6-man, 8-man, 10-man, 12-man squads are doable? Something like armor missions in the next game, because are we really going to move into 2023, 2024, 2025? Whenever a new game comes out, if it comes out, or if the leaks are legit, are we really going to keep this four-man squad thing for co-op? Is that going to be the standard? Because I mean, it would be really, really cool if you were attacking a base. It was huge. There were 100 men in the base. It was the size of one. Imagine one base the size of almost a province. Now I don't know if it's the technical limitations that stop things like this in games. But imagine if you could play 6-player PvE, 8-player PvE, and you're invading these bases with 10, you get a squad of 10, and the bases are so big, the compounds are so big, the cities are so big that you're really invading these areas with 10 ghosts, 12 ghosts.
Yeah,
Like there's so much to push this game eh, towards Arma, but not too crazy. You
yeah,
look at what Arma does for the tactical shooter genre, like you can just get 20 guys, 30 guys. What do they run in the ops? Do they have 100 guys in these games? Like I don't even know. And I don't know the limitations of Anvil Next. That's why I'm hoping that Frontline was really their way of figuring out how they could integrate 100 players on one map, and maybe they could from there, they could move on upping the player count, but
That'd be cool if they kind
I
of like they took maybe
I
some
think
of the
so.
tech with
Yeah.
that and made it so like okay, you can instead of doing co-op, just make it so that there's like a matchmaking system and you can go in and just like, all right, let's join a public lobby. Okay, now you're on the full map and there's a lobby of 30 people
Yeah.
doing whatever. They can go in and like the open world is all like a free for all. Like not like you're trying to kill each other, but like you can
Well,
do whatever you
that's
want.
getting
But if
back
you
to PvP and, like, the
no, but I
GTA
mean like
style,
make
right?
it so that it's but like GTA, when you start a mission, that's instance. That's instance based. That's only the
Yeah.
people that do the mission are in the mission. So for instance, you can do whatever you want in the open world, but then if you want to go, all right, let's go do this actual story mission, then it's instance based. So then you don't have people like screwing up, the stuff while you're doing an actual mission,
Yeah, well,
whatever.
it should be just different modes. You sign into a mode
Dude,
for
that would
the
be so fun. That actually got me kind of excited.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
whatever. Let's move on from that because we could talk about PvP and all that
Yep.
forever. Let's move
Well,
on.
before we keep
What do you wanna
going,
talk about?
some massive donos coming in here.
Yeah,
We
let's
got
go.
Whipped
Whip
Flame with the
Flame, yeah.
$19.99 donation. Thank you, buddy. I really, really appreciate it.
Whip
It says,
Flame.
Sup, boys. Glad to see you guys together again. It's been too long. It has been too long. I know that me and G have kind of been on and off talking. He's been kind of busy with work and stuff, and I distanced myself from YouTube for a long time. It was like 4 months between my uploads, and there just wasn't a lot of talked about with Ghost Recon. And with them announcing that Ghost Recon Breakpoint is dead, and then literally less than 24 hours later, it was leaked that there was a new Ghost Recon in development. It's fun. It's fun to kind of get back to the grind and talk about things and engage with you guys. It's fun. Moving on, Stabby McStabs with the $25 dono. I appreciate it, man. Coming in with the huge dono he says, since I haven't done it in a while, take my money. I will gladly take your money. Oh man. And then we have oh boy, I'm probably gonna butcher this because there's a little
Moken.
tilde above the O.
Whatever, Moken.
Moken 187 with the $10 dono. Huge shout out
It's
to you, buddy.
187.
What about you have a regular PvE, but then you have the conquest mode by the PvE VP, where the team's fighting for territory and against others in different assault teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That exactly.
yeah. There's definitely a whole lot
Yo,
of
Jay,
things
what
they
up?
could do. Um, Especially with this other battle royale thing that they're doing that has up to 100 players. Bring that tech in and maybe immerse more player base or more player counts in the core Ghost Recon experience.
Whoa, whipped
Whipped
flame.
Flame, holy
Holy shit.
Lord, coming in
C-Squad's
with
taking me out to dinner tomorrow.
yeah. We'll meet halfway. We'll meet in Pennsylvania. With the $49.99 dono. Damn. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it.
All that just to say I have no faith in Ubisoft. This
He
man
dropped the
literally
big
has
bucks
no
to get
faith.
that point across. Hey, there's a lot of people that share that opinion.
Yeah,
When
I
you
mean,
go from
how could you not?
Wildlands to Breakpoint, it's hard
Yeah,
to like what's going to happen going from Breakpoint to
I
said game,
know.
you know?
Well, they set the bar so low, how could the next game not be good?
Maybe that was their intention. We're going to set the bar so low that when we give them something, they're going to think that it's amazing when it's really
Yeah.
kind of meh. Yeah, he says, yeah, quote unquote, I have no faith in Ubisoft, and maybe we can game together in the future on other games. Hey, fingers crossed that they listen to the feedback, because in the post that they said they were basically pulling the plug on Breakpoint, the last sentence, the feedback that the community has given for the last 2 years will help influence the future of the franchise. Hopefully that wasn't just blowing smoke up our ass, and it's true. Hopefully they
Yeah.
take the community's feedback, Delta's feedback, everybody's feedback, and actually put that towards another game. Hopefully that's the truth, because I know there's a real bad look for Delta to the general community. The teammate experience was 100% put on Delta. It was insane. It was Delta's fault that the teammate experience update was nothing. It was ass. I cannot tell you how many posts I saw that was Delta's fault.
Yeah, whatever. You just ignore that shit. That
No,
doesn't
I
matter.
know, but it's like we don't have a lot of pull. Our feedback is the same as general community feedback. So hopefully they take that feedback from us, from the general community, the forums, which they wiped clean, and now they have a new forum. But
You
hopefully they
know,
do take all that feedback and actually listen to it, improve upon it,
look,
make what they should make.
I'm gonna go the opposite direction here. I'm gonna say what Vandar said here. Look, you know what? Fuck it. I've been shitting on these guys for so long, excuse my language. And it's not so much shitting on them as much as it is just critiquing how I think certain things should work in the game and how it should have been designed. And yo, look, Vandar said, I do have faith in the Paris team. If corporate lets them make the game the community is asking for, Paris is almost dedicated to Ghost Recon. Yo, maybe they can make a good game if they're able to make the game that they want to make according to what the surveys and what the community has spoken about for the past 2 years. Who knows?
Yep.
Let's get these donos going.
Yeah,
Kingman Lou,
yeah,
you want to read
Kingman.
that one
Yeah,
off?
with the $4.99. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. I wonder if Ghost Recon storyline sequel will this continue with Scott Mitchell's Ghost, or will this be another new squad fighting enemies? I think either one would work. I got to be honest. I think a Scott Mitchell old school would work. I think a new squad is probably for my opinion, is in their best interest. I think they should just leave everything in the past. Start something new. Start something fresh.
Yeah,
That's just
not
my
to like
opinion.
leak anything, but I think it's Dare. Is it Dare Productions? Do you know Dare Productions on Twitter?
No. Oh yeah, I
He
think
does like the short films and stuff.
okay.
He gave me something earlier. It was kind of like a script to like a future Ghost Recon thing. Dude, it
And
was
what was
lit,
it?
and it
Oh, it
was
was
using
lit?
Hunter Team.
Oh,
That's all I'm
okay.
gonna
Yeah, I don't
say
I
because
I don't want I don't want any of that.
he said he was gonna like possibly film it like next month or something and stuff. But dude, it gave me chills reading his script. But I'm a super
Oh, I
Hunter
see
Team
what
nerd
you're saying. Yeah, I know. I
because it
see,
was
like,
like a
I don't
script to a
really
short film, basically. And it,
Oh,
like
okay.
I read that and was just like, dude, I was nerding out. I was nerding
Oh,
out
okay,
big
okay.
time. It was so cool.
I thought it was like a leak for the next game
No,
that you were talking about.
no. He does like short
This
films.
is
It's kind of like, for instance, like the short film, when you had like the live action trailer for Breakpoint,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff, like little short films and stuff. And he had like a little, like it was like a 1.5 page script, and it
Oh,
was
okay.
like with Kozak.
Oh
Like
god, Spider, don't say that.
it was cool. It was cool. What did he say? It's gonna be the next Purple Hail,
The
the
purple
Purple
people
Hair people
eaters,
eater.
they're gonna have control of the next game. Don't say
Oh man,
that.
yeah.
Yo, so something I want to get into
Excuse me.
too, that kind of disappoints me of moving forward after they ceased to make any more content for Breakpoint is the fact that they are I don't know if it's skeptical or just refuse because they're a AAA studio, but I mean, Rockstar allows it with GTA on PC. Like, yo, Ubisoft, open up your game to modders. You can close the
Dude,
door on a game and then say we're opening it up to modders to continue on the content for the next, for the future. And let mod because they're getting in there anyway. They're
I
playing
wouldn't
with
even wait until they decided to stop to do that.
no, I know, but I'm saying like
Start that from day
at
one.
this point, right? You already know that like modders are getting in there and they're doing things. Yo, work with them. See what modders come up with. See what the community responds to. And I know this is not a dev thing. I know this is really like the publisher itself and management, whether they want people to be able to tinker with their games. Hey, the tools are out there. People are tinkering with your games anyway. You might as well open up to the point where people could really create things and help out with your certain types of dev processes. Also, in addition to that, it would have been nice that at the end of this these past 2.5 years, it would have been cool if we went out the bang that we went out with was a mission creator, kind of like the Assassin's Creed Odyssey story creator that they had for that game.
I don't
That would have been
understand why they
cool as
didn't do
well.
that. It's the same engine.
Yeah, I don't
Why
know.
can't they
Same
do it?
engine. I don't know
I
why
don't
they
get
can't
it.
like swap out certain assets. Maybe it's too much work. Maybe that didn't really work the way they wanted to. And
Could be.
but that would have been really cool too, and allow players to kind of push content for the next year or so until the next game comes out. There's just a lot of things that I feel like can be done but aren't. and I question why, especially when it comes to maybe the story creator, not so much the modding, because you kind of understand that they don't if they don't want people modding their game, whatever, they don't want it. But as far as the story creator, that would have been cool right at the end where you're saying, we're done, but here's one less patch is going to be a mission creator for you guys to make missions for each other. So that would have been cool.
Yep. Going back to the donos, Murad Mansouri with the oh yeah Delta but Bravo, dude, you're gonna beat that dead horse into the ground, man. With Bravo team, with the YouTuber Bravo team. Delta Abyss with the $2 dono says it's not me. I don't know if I missed something why he said that.
Oh,
Um,
isn't that him? Were you talking about Delta on YouTube? Oh, maybe that's
Delta Abyss.
no, like, who's the guy on YouTube you're talking about?
I
Who
wasn't. I
made
was
the
no. I was just Delta, like Delta Company, when I was talking about that Delta.
I thought you were saying the guy who wrote the Hunter
Oh
Team
yeah, no,
thing.
yeah, that's Dare Productions.
Oh, Dare
Yeah,
Productions.
I think it was
Oh,
Dare
so
Productions.
he's saying Delta Bis as in Delta Co oh, I got it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
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 Delta but Bravo. He says it's not me. Alright,
yeah.
got it. Alright, stab you with
Stabby
another
McStabs
$20
with a
dono.
20. Okay, this one. Somebody said that after this he put the fire. So with a $20 dono, real quick, huge shout out, man. That's huge. You've already dropped a boatload of cash tonight. So hear me
Yeah, for
out.
real.
What if we had a massive world, several continents, different biomes or regions with field operations bases or social hubs? Choose your theater, squad up, infill, exfil, kind of like Metal Gear Solid 5 on a much, much larger scale.
Well, yo, right off the bat, I'm gonna say no to the social hub, or at least it's got to be done properly. Because I'll tell you right now, let's say a Ubisoft dev was just happened to be, or a community manager is just hanging out watching this, right? What did we say about Erewhon? We hated it. The community hated it. We were like, what the hell is this? So you have to be
That was done
careful.
wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to be careful what you ask for, because when you say social hub and then you get Erewhon, and then they're like, "What? You guys wanted a social hub? This is it." So you got to be really specific. Like, is it a social hub kind of like Ground Branch, where it's where you're going into a gunsmith and you're going over what the op is going to be, like kind of like that. Like what defines what the social hub is going to be? Forward operating bases, like how is that going to work? Um,
Even
yeah,
what the division had was better than
definitely good
Erewhon.
ideas. Yeah, yeah, it seemed like, they were kinda going for the same thing, but, it made more sense in the division. Again, it's the writing, bro. The writing was just bad for Breakpoint. None of that shit made sense. Infill extra kinda thing like Metal Gear Solid, that only goes so far before it gets kind of like, "Alright, whatever." Like, you sit there almost like the bivouacs, in my opinion. You sit there and you make a mechanic that seems cool, but then after a while, it loses its flair.
Yeah.
So, how cool is it to have like the infill, exfil kind of thing, other than maybe there it's part of I guess it could be part of the mission detail where all right, you're gonna infill from here, you exfil, and there's an AI helicopter waiting for you, kind of like Metal Gear. If that's what you're saying, I guess that could be cool. That could work. There's so many things as far as you know wh- how we would want the game to play before you get into the little things like that. For instance, look at gear score, right? And breakpoint. Like that's a main thing that we should be advocating against to
Agreed.
make sure, right? Like what haven't like we're talking about, right? So Stab, you're talking about different biomes, obviously, but like FOBs, infill, exfil, things like that. I feel like we would have to get into first and foremost, a gear system where your gear matters, right?
Agreed.
You put
That's
on
long
certain
overdue.
gear, right? So like that should be like in my opinion, like that should be the focal point of what we're asking for now. If I put on a lot of gear, put on a lot of tack gear, I could take more bullets. I'm slower. I'm obviously if I try stealthing, I'm going to be louder. You know, there's got to be systems like that built first before we get into the little things that really don't matter for gameplay, like infill, exfil. Like, how much is that going to matter for the overall gameplay at this point? I feel like a gear system is something we got to hit home with. I feel like the overhaul of teammate AI, move to hold position while you're opening fire and holding fire. What type of commands are we going to have for our AI moving forward? That we everybody wants to overhaul on that. Enemy AI. Will enemy AI suppress and flank? Will they seem like they're communicating? How many times in Breakpoint does the enemy say, "Oh my god, we lost Bernie. We
We
lost
lost
Stanley.
Bill. They
We
shot
lo
Bill.
Delta's down, Delta's down."
Oh God.
Now, it got repetitive, but at first, kudos to the team. I thought that was cool, right? But now, yo, take it a step further. Why can't like one guy suppresses, Delta, move up. I'm flanking left. I'm flanking. Like they never talk tactical to each other, right? So little things like that, I feel like would help gameplay.
I even feel like
Um,
the enemy tactics were better like in Wildlands. I might be wrong, but like with the Unidad, when you got enough of them around you, like I feel like, yeah, I
maybe
don't know.
because maybe because there's never enough
Yeah,
in Breakpoint. When it's
yeah,
Unidad, there's so many.
yeah. Because like the thing that the biggest thing that I hated with Breakpoint, if you went loud and you alerted a base, they didn't really they didn't really try to push you except for the shotgun guy, and he would just blatantly run at you. Which
Yeah,
like, dude,
yeah,
there should be no AI program to do that. I understand he's a shotgun rusher, but if you're if you're a shotgun rusher, you're gonna push this dude that's in cover with an M4. Like,
yeah.
come on. But yeah,
But as
real.
far as that, yeah, biomes definitely deserts, jungles, forests,
Somebody
snow
mentioned that
areas,
earlier too
big
about like
cities,
possibly
small
Africa.
cities.
Africa would be a good biome rich place.
I think what Stabby's saying is kind of on point though. Several continents with different biomes where they're each their own kind of campaign, and the campaign kind of ties into
Yeah,
itself.
he's talking to like more like sandbox maps like Metal Gear
That,
Solid
but that
instead of
might
a
work.
massive.
That
Yeah.
might work. Like if you take a roa and you kind of just split it up into 4 or 5 little areas. So it's like 3 provinces over here, 4 provinces over here, 5 provinces over here, right? And they're the size of those provinces, and one is jungle, one is snow, one is desert, one and to get between them, it's basically like each campaign is its own campaign, but it ties into one main story. In my opinion, that would work. But you could at the same time then just make up something like Aroa, or how they did it in Bolivia, which was amazing, where each province kind of flowed into the next province, but the biomes changed, and it was done so well. I don't know how the hell they did Aroa and ruined that.
Yeah, that I think somebody was talking about in my comment section the other day too about oh Wildlands, it didn't really do anything different story wise, and it was just like Breakpoint, like the way Wildlands was set up. So you had different characters, you had to gather intel, do missions to get intel on the bosses of each region. Once you started doing that, you kind of wanted to do all the missions and get the intel and just check that region off the list.
Yeah.
In Breakpoint, the first mission you do takes you all the way across the damn map and then
Yeah.
all the way back to the other side of the map in like the first two missions. In Wildlands, it drove you to you didn't have to. It gave you a choice. But like I said, once you gathered that first piece of intel in Ataqua, you wanted to gather other intel and you wanted to get down to like the nitty-gritty story part of that and take down the boss of the region. At least that's what I did. Check the first region off, go to the next one. It didn't necessarily have to be a border region, it could be some other random region, but once I started, I wanted to stay there until it was done. But it
Yeah.
did give you the choice to go wherever you wanted, but the story content was sort of clustered in sections in those individual provinces. There was a story, a full story in every province, which once you completed it, sometimes gave you a little bit of intel for a different province so that that story would sort of just kind of trickle into the next province and it would continue. Breakpoint did not have that at all.
No, at all. Yeah, they tried to just kind of make it one cohesive story and just took you all over the freaking
Yeah, and
place.
please, please, if there's any Ubisoft devs or community managers, if anybody's just kind of lurking in here, if you put dialogue choices and full on blown cutscenes like that, especially if we can't see the stuff on our character, don't. Scrap
Yeah.
it right now.
That
Don't do that.
that's got to get figured out.
Like, I was personally fine with the way they did the cutscenes in Wildlands because it's a third person military tactical shooter. I don't want dialogue choices. I don't want, 15-minute conversations with this guy and go talk to that guy. And that's not what Ghost Recon is. I get what they were trying to do from a story standpoint, but it's not Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
other
you know what?
things.
And it's just done bad. It was just
Yeah.
done bad.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They could have tried to push it into something like that, but when I look at games like from Insomniac Games, I look at the Spider-Man games. They're amazing. The stories are amazing. If you look at The Last of Us, obviously those are interactive movies, so whatever. But the way Ubisoft has created these systems in Anvil Next that are utilized in Assassin's Creed and are utilized in now Ghost Recon Breakpoint, it's just not that good. It's just not up to par with what everyone else is doing in the industry.
Right.
And it's not even as good as what The Witcher did, which is kind of like what they were copying to
Right.
begin with. So
Yep.
I don't know. I think they gotta just kind of recreate that whole thing, but that's just my opinion. I don't know,
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah, I hear you.
What do we wanna get into
Well,
next?
scrolling back up, I want to go back to this because it kind of triggered me. Morad Mansouri with the $1.99 says, "You said Hunter team? Question mark. Joe Ramirez. Joe Ramirez was Predator team, bro. Sorry, Hunter team was not Joe Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez is
I'm a super
RIP,
nerd,
no?
dude. Yeah, Ramirez technically
Yeah,
after the year
that's
2024 is dead.
that's the first mission in Future Soldier, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hunter team is Ghost Lead, Ferguson, Kozak, Pepper, and 30K. Just so you know. Sorry, I had to do that. Stabby McStabs with the $5 dono says, "You meant to make my last entry a super chat fail on my part." And he said, "I mean, in the field operations bases, actual bases, creating weapons, loadouts, practice tactics, supplies, planning, matchmaking for you, your squad. Not a
Yeah,
place where everyone is there with their thumb up their ass like Era One
yeah.
was."
Yeah, kinda yeah, I kind of had a feeling it's going something like that. Kinda like Ground Branch, if anyone's
Yes,
played Ground Branch.
yes. And then Kingman Lao with the $1.99 said, "Brother in Arms squad mechanic. I'm not familiar with that
Yeah,
game."
me neither. The video that's playing right now, what sniper is that? That's what Alex Gamer wants to know. Do you remember?
Oh no, that's the new. That was the new one.
That's not
It
like the TAC 50 or something?
that was whatever the new sniper was with Operation Motherland.
This guy's no help, Alex. This guy's no help. Unfollow. Unfollow.
I could dig into that. I don't remember. It was. I could have swore it was. Was there a new sniper with Operation Motherland?
I don't remember. I don't remember. But all right, what do we want to get into? What are some
Oh
things?
yeah, I think it was the MSR.
MSR.
Yeah, because they
Okay,
put the
yeah.
MSR. Yeah, they put the
Yeah,
MSR, and then I
yeah,
put like the
MSR.
biggest
Yeah,
scope
Gamer
on it.
F1. Yeah, MSR. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yep.
Yo, also something that should be considered since they're so used to using the same mechanics from Assassin's Creed. I would like to see underwater ops, ships, invading frigates, things like that. Maybe there are supply chains that are coming onto through from the sea, off the sea, they're off the coast, and there are actual missions where if there's a gear system, you have to gear out to get to the frigate out in the water, and you look like a frog man. You're in the wetsuit. You play some C4. You actually swim underwater now because Assassin's Creed has that mechanic. Should be easy for them to bring it into Ghost Recon. I think that would be something cool that I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate to kind of frogman their way and have some frogman missions like
Jay
that.
Plays is going against that hard.
What is he going against?
Ghosts aren't Navy or Marines.
Uh, what are you talking about?
That's what Jay said in the chat. Is we're ghosts. We're not Navy or Marines.
What does that have to do with
Navy SEALs and Marines do a lot more weapon or water ops.
So who's not a SEAL? None of the ghosts are SEALs?
Fury's a
I know
SEAL.
originally, it was like it wasn't like in Ghost Recon 1, but I don't know. I think you're by yourself on that one, dude. You're literally swimming in water in the game. Why not be able to have frogman missions?
Yeah,
Why can't they? Why can't they be? Weaver, oh, there you go. Murad, Weaver was a SEAL. All right, so
he's
I'm a
dead.
little I'm a little confused there. I could have sworn they were a mix at this point.
Yeah, I want to know too. On a side note, whatever
Ghost,
developer,
yeah,
story
right,
writer,
gamer.
or whoever at Ghost Recon at the Paris studio thought it was cool to kill Weaver in the very first part of Breakpoint. I
Yeah,
hate you.
I have that video. I forget what it's called, but basically, like It would have been nice to be able to control Weaver for, like, the first mission, and it's kinda like, you're being hunted, and it gives you that feel of what the game was supposed to be, and then at least if you get caught out there and you get killed and it's a cool cutscene, but the way they did Weaver was really poor, man.
Dude, I honestly think too they didn't even use the same voice actor. Because that voice actor, they probably were like, "Yo, this is what's gonna happen," and he was probably like, "Well, fuck you." You know, you literally, I was a voiceover for an entire game, and now you're gonna literally kill me off in the opening cutscene.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
it
Vandar.
wasn't even, yeah,
They're like what are the ghosts? It's like 5th Regiment, 1st whatever. I forget what it is, but that's like the original game.
yeah,
I know I know it's different now because, like you said, Weaver was a SEAL, so he got recruited into the Ghosts, and all I'm saying is that look, I think we need to acknowledge that the lore for these games are not that great. So if
there's a
there
lot
could
of
be
lore they could pull from though.
yeah, well, my point being is that this nothing is set in stone. Like all these ghosts aren't just pulled from Green Berets. And who says what? So you mean to tell me if there are Green Berets behind enemy lines, none of them deal in swamp areas or anything like that, or would have to do anything to the point where you could imagine them, you know, throwing on a frog suit in a video game and having fun with it? I mean, yo, dude, it's freaking Ghost Recon. I think a lot of people would enjoy invading a frigate off the coast of a province in a frog suit. I think that would be fun.
Yeah,
Jay.
throw it right back at him. And I know it's. I mean,
Oh,
we've been kind
yo,
of
Jay, I
talking.
hear you there. You think it's boring and a waste of dev time, but it's already like if you play Assassin's Creed, it's already there.
Yeah, but I honestly feel like they need to get away from that somehow.
They're
Either
not going to.
different,
Dude, this
like
shit is not
Snowdrop,
moving.
or just
It's
get
not
away and
moving
make
from
it.
it's not moving from Anvil Next
Yeah,
2.0. They have too many things built into this engine to start fresh. Now they're not gonna pull Unreal 5 out their ass and build it. They're not gonna
yeah,
give
no,
it to Massive with
that'd be cool.
Snowdrop. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's happening. And all
Yeah,
I'm saying is that I think a variety would be cool. A waste of time. I mean, it depends how many missions you could do it, how repetitive it would feel. I mean, I don't know. I think that would be kind of awesome, especially if it was a gear system, like you'd have to deck out just for that and then kind of change it up. But I don't know. Well, what do we want to talk about next? We
real
kind
quick,
of we
Morad
went off.
busting pulling my chain again. Ross from Choke Point Honey Squad. Hey, if they decide to set a game after the events of Ghost Recon Future Soldier, if they're gonna do it right, it needs to be Ross. It needs to be Ross leading Hunter team, and because Ferguson hangs it up, and he just kind of goes back and does a lot of stuff around the base. So we'll see. We'll see if they try to pull in any lore with a new squad or if they try to start from scratch. I'm telling you right now, if we get Nomad again, dude, I'm all Nomaded out. Nomad voice actor for this game, Breakpoint, no Nomad. Ugh, I don't like him.
He was good. I
I
think he just got
preferred the
fed a
one from
bad script.
Wildlands.
Yeah,
I didn't like
he
I
didn't
didn't.
have
It
any
sounded for
lines.
me. It sounded fake. Just oh yeah. It just sounded like he was constipated the whole time. But then again, I was trying to compare him to the one from Wildlands, which just it flowed so good with the other AI teammates from Wildlands. But hey,
Stabby, mountain
Gamer
gameplay,
F1. What about
IEDs, ambushes.
adjusting scopes for long range? Being able to zero your scope should be a damn thing. That doesn't make any
That's
sense that
true.
it's not there. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Stabbies with the $10 dono. I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. All I'm saying is I need some mountain gameplay, IEDs, and ambushes, something with proper vertical gameplay and guerrilla warfare. Then let me level. Then let me level said mountain with a very large bomb.
Well, you know what? That's another thing I think Wildlands had a one up on Breakpoint. You felt like you were kind of like commando. You were Green Beret in Wildlands. You had your rebel army. You could sit back. You built them up to take on Santa Blanca themselves. That really felt good in Wildlands, and that was really missing for me in Breakpoint because I really enjoyed calling in the cavalry in Wildlands and just watching them wreak havoc and kinda just help out from, you know, behind them and help out as a secondary squad. That was really fun.
Yeah. Stabby. Also to go with that, to take out the mountain, are you going to use a Jericho? Anybody that's seen Iron Man, he's gonna use a Jericho.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, that's the one where he's like, the best weapon is the weapon that you don't have to shoot. And he says, I respectfully disagree. I think the best weapon you only need to fire
Oh,
once. And he levels that entire mountain with that missile, the Jericho, right at the
yeah,
start of the
yeah,
first
yeah,
movie.
by the start, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Spider.
for real.
Oh, no.
Real quick, what you got to before, because now Dalton is saying it too. Zero in the next game. Yo, there definitely needs to be better sniping to where you just, there maybe I don't know how much they want to get into that as far as physics though.
See,
That's a
you
lot of
wouldn't really
game
have
engine
to get
shit.
into it with crazy physics. Like, for instance, it's just the way the ranges work. Like, for instance, in Wildlands, there was a big rock above the train graveyard over on the salt flats. And I remember doing that mission a bunch of times over and over and over again. And there was a far enemy at the far end of the train yard that it was like 300 something meters. And like obviously that makes it kind of easy to do it that way, but it's just a mechanic. Like for instance, if you're playing hardcore and the distance, if you had like some sort of like if you had a thing in the game, you have binoculars, right? That's a item. If you had a rangefinder, you range the target and then you could zero your scope. Okay, he was at 285 meters. I can zero my scope to 300 and I got to aim just a little bit low. Being able to do that instead of having to go up all the hash marks,
Yeah,
actually properly being able to.
do you want wind?
No,
Do
I
you
don't.
want
I don't
things
want
like
wind.
that? Yeah, so
But I
I
think
mean, but
zeroing the scope. There's a lot of games that allow you to zero the scope, and this is a third-person tactical military shooter, and we can't zero the scope. Technically, you could zero an ACOG. You could adjust an ACOG. Even like the high-powered scopes. I think. But then again, you get into the thing with the ballistics, where the ballistics work in this game. Like you get out to 300 meters, and that bullet drops off the end of the damn earth, which is not
yeah,
right
ballistics and
either.
also what Spider said, the render distance was just terrible on Breakpoint. I don't know what the hell happened.
I think the render
Things
distance
were
was a lot
popping
better.
up.
And like Break or Wildlands, it rendered out to enemies rendered out
Yeah.
to like 900 meters to 1,000 meters.
Dude, but not even that, just things like walls and shit. You could zoom in at 400 meters and walls and fences would pop up in Breakpoint. It's like, oh shit. I would be shooting at a bad guy past 300 meters and not hitting him. And I'm like, where's this bullet going? And then get close enough and realize he was behind like a piece of tin that wasn't rendering for me. I was like, what
Yeah,
the
that
hell?
needs to be addressed.
It was just bad.
Yeah, the draw distance was definitely better in Wildlands. You still had pop-ins and stuff in Wildlands, but I feel like the
Yeah,
draw
yeah.
distance.
Pop-ins, things coming into memory, out of memory. You're always probably gonna have issues with that unless you're using like Unreal 5. However, that shit's gonna work. But
Right. And with the one thing with the big thing notable difference too with the draw distance like Wildlands to Breakpoint,
yeah,
the fog in Breakpoint even on a sunny day to help obviously they're trying to cut down on like the what you got to have like render distance and stuff by fogging it and like making it look foggy. But if you build it right, you don't have to do that. Wildlands didn't have that. But hey, neither here nor there.
yeah.
Stabby McStabs with the Moab or bust. See, the Moab's real. The Jericho's not real, but the Jericho was way bigger. But you want to level a mountain with a Moab, you go right ahead. Mokin with the $5 super chat. I subscribed to the headcanon when the ghost got declassified and restructured into the GST that they still kept the Green Beret ghost. Thoughts?
I don't know what that
I
means.
don't
You
either.
subscribe to the headcanon. Is headcanon like something that tells lore or something? Like what is headcanon?
The wiki, see the dude, the Ghost Recon
Ideas
wiki.
held by fans of series that are not explicitly supported or sanctioned by. Okay, so it's basically people kind of coming up with their own ideas of how the lore should be.
Oh,
So you subscribe that when the ghost got declassified, so he subscribes to the idea that when the ghost got declassified and restructured into the GST, that they still kept the Green Beret ghosts. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, don't see. This is what I'm not sure of. I could have sworn that at this point they're picking the best of the best to become ghosts. Where in like the first Ghost Recon, it was like fifth army, fifth regiment. I forget what it was. It was like they were part of this unit, and this is what they were. Whereas now it's like you said, Weaver was a SEAL, and Nomad came from Green Beret or Delta or whatever. So I mean, it is what it is. I don't really think at this point it's that important because the lore is so bad anyway, and they refuse to build upon it. But yeah,
I feel
Stab,
like
you
there's a
want
number of people in the
to?
community that understand the lore better than the developers do at this point.
Oh yeah, of course,
Because the
especially if
developers
yeah,
that instituted like what is lore now don't
yeah,
work there anymore, you know?
yeah,
So they don't maybe appreciate it as much. I know that I'm a super nerd when it comes to lore, and I'm not. I love the lore, which
yeah.
newer players wouldn't understand the lore, so you got to figure that in too. So I get it. I get both sides of it. Um, Stabby with the $10, another $10. Damn, dude, you're gonna be broke after this. He says, I'm also just saying, Ubisoft, if you're in here, hire me. I'm cheaper than the lady of the night. Dude, I'll be honest. I've even said this. It'll never happen. It will absolutely never happen. But like, I'm a super nerd when it comes to that stuff, and I feel like not tooting my own horn, but like I feel like there's a lot of things that I've said and the community have said that could drive the game in a good direction. There's a lot of people that you could hire as just like a consultant, like content creators that you could hire as a. I mean, I don't want. I would do it for free.
Yeah,
I
but they, you know
don't.
what? This is what we're missing, right? So they already hired those people. They're called community managers and community developers. Their job is to take all the ideas from the community and funnel it to them. The problem is, I don't really think that matters much because at the end of the day, they still build the game, one, that they want to, but two, that they can. So, we all want to sit here and be like, yo, but this idea and that idea, true. But that's why they have community managers slash developers. So, and that's why they have surveys and things like that. They try to get what everybody, the majority of people want, what the majority of people are saying. And unless you're someone maybe like Drewski, where you have a million plus subs, so you have some notoriety where you could actually
I
make
would
some
I would totally
change.
be okay with Drewski being a
Uh,
consultant.
Well,
He knows what
not
he's
not even so much a consultant, but just like when he made that one video probably got more notoriety,
right.
obviously, than the majority of all the content that all of us have ever put out
Yeah,
because,
I'll
we're a
never
lot
forget that
smaller.
video.
Uh, yeah, the
Actual
one
recon in a Ghost Recon
Recon,
game.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
All right, so moving on. What do
I
we want
know
to
that
talk
yeah,
about?
it's getting late. It's like almost 9:30 now. I think to be honest, even if we branched a little bit into the leak maybe
Yeah, yeah.
about
So
for
the
those of you
when
guys
you
that didn't know, if you want, you can even go run it if you want.
run, wait, we're run
Just you
what?
can run with like the leak of a new game.
Oh, yeah. No, well, I mean, whatever. It leaked. We don't know when it's coming out. Supposedly, fiscal year 2023, which is what, spring 2023 to
June
spring 2024.
actually fiscal year 2023 is June of 2022 to June of 2023.
Oh, oh wait, fiscal years. Is
It's
that how it
technically
works?
June 1st to May 31st. So
That's
it would be
fiscal.
2022 to 2023.
That's the fiscal year. Oh, so their fiscal year is basically a year previously for Ubisoft. That's how they do things.
Yeah, I just Googled it. What
Are
is
you?
fiscal year 2023? Fiscal year 2023 is June 21st, or excuse me, June 1st, 2022 to May 31st, 2023. That's fiscal
Oh,
year 2023.
what the hell?
That's scary if that's because that would be like absolute latest. You're talking a spring 2023 release.
Yeah, that's not enough
That's not
time.
enough time. No, not a chance. Not during
Yeah,
COVID and with the
yeah.
way their dev
That
cycles
may
go.
yo, that m yo, that if that would make me think it's rinse, wash, repeat, bro. We get the same shit, but they can't afford to do that. That would kill the franchise.
Yep, it would. Because for those, like I said, for those of you guys didn't hear about it, literally 24 hours after they basically killed development on Breakpoint, there was a leak from a few notable people that a lot of news outlets and stuff picked up on that basically said that there was a the next mainline Ghost Recon game. So Ghost Recon Wildlands, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, that kind of game in development. It's been in development for over a year. And originally, supposedly, it was supposed to be shown during the Ghost Recon 20th anniversary live stream, but it was pulled and they showed Frontline instead, which obviously we know how that turned out. But yeah, that was the news that it was supposedly they were ready to technically tease it or show it in some way, shape, or form back in October of last year during the 20th anniversary live stream. So
Well, I mean, hopefully they were working on it for a while,
hopefully
and
their more than a year was like they're off on that a little bit and it was like 2 years.
yeah. Well, I would assume that they got right to work after Breakpoint because Breakpoint seemed like they were getting the B team. You
Yeah,
know,
the
so
entire like all the DLCs didn't seem like they had a lot to them. Like no shade thrown, but like especially the entire last year of content. You had a teammate experience that probably 5 devs could have did that.
yeah, that's all copy. That's all copy and paste.
Yeah, and
That's
then
all. They
Motherland,
just had to build out the UI for that because
yeah,
all that
Motherland
shit
there
was
was some new stuff, but like a lot of it was like not a lot of like actually like there was new
well.
guns, new
I guess
cosmetics.
except I guess except your teammates throwing grenades at your head. That was
Dude,
kinda that had to be programmed in,
yeah.
so kudos to the programmer who, "Here's a grenade for you," while I'm going
And
stealth.
kudos to the like a huge kudos to the putting on my night vision goggles.
Putting on my navigation goggles.
Dude, that
Oh my
shit's got to
god.
go.
Oh god, that's gonna be
Like if
there
you're in a
forever.
scenario, like a lot of times, like hand signals, and that's the other thing too that bugged me the other day. Um, the hand signal thing, rally on me, and he does the hand signal. The entire
Yeah, the
point of the hand
circle.
signal is to not make sound. You don't on me and do it. You do one or the other. Mainly, if you're gonna do the hand signal, you don't talk.
It's a
That's
video game.
yeah, it's a video game. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that. You know that, like I said, it was leaked. Who knows? There technically is not an E3 this year. There was another leak earlier that there's supposed to possibly be a Ubisoft Forward event late May, very early June. Maybe they tease it then. But if, who knows? Give it time. Give it time to do it right. Ubisoft, Ubisoft Paris, whoever's, working on it. Do it right.
Yeah.
Don't rush it. You saw what happened when you rushed Breakpoint.
Well, I mean, yo, dude, they could only do what they can do before, the suits tell them to ship it. So,
Well,
hopefully they
Jacques
can really
Villeneuve or
nail it.
whatever the dude is at the top needs to get his head out of his ass then.
Yeah, Will Whipped Flame, another $20 dono. Shout out to Whipped. I really hope Ubisoft can actually change and deliver something worthwhile. Don't we all, bro? Don't we all?
When's the
So,
last game that like shipped and you were like, damn, this is elite?
this is Elite.
Well, I mean, like
Uh,
I never played Phoenix Rising.
okay, so I thought Elden Ring was really
No,
good.
I mean like Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, the last game where I was like, this is Elite. Yeah, Phoenix Rising was really dope. I didn't beat it. I didn't finish it. I guess you know what? I streamed it for a while and then it didn't do well like every other like all the games that aren't Ghost Recon, and then I kind of put it down for something else. But yeah, other than Phoenix Rising,
I
just
personally enjoyed the Division 2 off the rip.
yeah, Division 2 was I thought Division 2 was great too. It was polished. I thought it was good. I had fun with Division 2. And then I guess Wildlands, and I mean
Yeah.
it's
Dude, thinking back to that, that was a completely different time for me. I had like 3,000 subscribers when Wildlands released. Not even three. No, I had like 600 subscribers when Wildlands released.
yeah, see, so
Like it was a completely different time. I wasn't famous.
so let's see. We covered obviously everything we want in a game like we always do. We covered the game, no more for Breakpoint. We cover the new game basically rarely. Heartland's coming out. Is really not talk about that. I'm looking forward to that. How about now that it's gonna end? How many of you out there are playing Fortnite no build mode? Because I was talking to A Squad about this before. I've been playing a little bit of Fortnite no build. And I kind of feel like back to what we were talking about before, this is how Ubisoft continuously misses the mark because everyone in Fortnite who got popular for Fortnite and who's playing Fortnite is now loving no build mode. And it just goes to show that the need for a polished, well made third person shooter is out there. And Ubisoft just keeps fucking just ignoring that fact all these years, and it's kind of disappointing to see Epic Games continuously do things that I wish Ubisoft would do, which is innovate their game, push their game, keep making content for their game, while Ubisoft sits there trying to like copy what everyone's doing. So I really think that's funny.
Yeah, by the time they release it, it's too late.
Yo, first
All
of
the
all,
time.
oh God, here we go. Like what, bro? What did I say right there that's not true?
Fortnite. You
Yeah,
mentioned
right?
that word.
Oh god, I mentioned one of the most popular games out there. Oh, whoa. Go play fucking Ground Branch with 3 people that you fucking know, dude.
Get his ass. Yeah, because like what we were kind of talking about earlier too, with that Fortnite goes with no build mode, and then you're gonna have uh, Heartland coming out at some point, probably pretty soon, and you literally have a third person. I wouldn't say tactical, but a third person shooter that, dude, Fortnite. I mean, there's people in here that's gonna be like, "Wow, you really said that." Fortnite at its core, it's a good third person shooter.
Yeah, dude, it's
There was just a
polished.
lot of
It's
BS because you'd shoot at somebody and they'd build the freaking Eiffel Tower. Like that shit was annoying. Without that without that mode, with just the standard no build mode, just it's a third person, BR, it's a
yo, but
good game.
Yo, but dude, yo, Spider, but that's such a misconception. Like, really? Look at all the streamers playing Apex, playing Valorant, playing Fortnite. Bro, it's all dude, it's adults. It's people like us. All right? Yeah, sure. 13-year-old kids play Fortnite. They also play fucking Madden, bro. They also play like
Well, when you
they
think of the
also
amount
play
of people that
GTA.
yeah, the amount of people that play Fortnite, you're gonna have
Yeah.
a lot of kids and
Yeah,
adults that
you have
play it.
kids, adults, it's super
There's
popular.
millions and millions of people that still play Fortnite.
My
You're gonna have a
point
whole different group.
Dude, my point was, what does everybody think of the fact that Fortnite came, took away their no build mode, which was basically the entire premise of their game. The entire premise of Fortnite was building forts. They took that shit out, and the game is more popular right now than it has been for a while.
Hmm.
Everyone who's a popular Fortnite streamer or content creator is playing no builds Fortnite, and they love it. And you got guys like me who didn't like Fortnite because I didn't want to shoot at somebody and have them build the Eiffel Tower in front of me. Now I'm playing it, and yeah, it's Fortnite, but it's like, yo, it's kind of cool. It's a polished third person shooter that I could finally shoot people with. And where's that game from Ubisoft? It doesn't exist. So my point is like, when is Ubisoft gonna figure out that the need for a good third person shooter, whether it's battle royale or team based, whatever, but more than a 4v4, it needs to happen. And yeah, they went and made Frontline, which was a huge mistake in my opinion, but whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, and I'll
Anyway,
be honest. I think with it, it's 9:33. I think that's kind of a good area to kind of wrap things up for this time.
and I'll wait for Heartland. Like I'm waiting for Heartland to come out because I'm definitely gonna pour in some hours to Heartland. I feel like that's gonna be a good sweet spot with what we're talking about, where they'll have their division game, where it'll compete with the third person crowd, and hopefully, it's good. Red Storm, they're good developers. Hopefully it works out well. So I'm looking forward to see what Heartland is all about.
Yep, yep. So overall, like I said, we didn't want to make this one too long. Just kind of get to the point. Talk about obviously the end of Breakpoint, the
Yo,
leaks and
so
stuff.
so before we end, when do you think let's get it out right now. It's April of 2022. When do you think the next Ghost Recon game will come out?
Okay, I think it will. I'm scared to say this, but I think I'm gonna say fall 2023. I
Fall
want,
oh,
I
fall
want, yeah,
2023.
I understand their fiscal year thing, but with the way the development goes, I'm gonna say fall 2023.
Yo, Havoc, what up?
I think it needs to be a minimum. That's what I think. I want it to be a minimum of spring 2024
Yeah, I think that
to give
works.
them extra time. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Don't release it in the fall. Don't do it. You're going to be competing. I mean, 2023 technically wouldn't be a bad fall because there's not supposed to be a mainline Call of Duty releasing in 2023. They've already said that Call of Duty is taking a break in 2023. There's
Oof.
not going to be a mainline.
So
If they're
that
going to
might
do
be
a
a good
fall
time to
release, yeah, if they're going to
that
do a
might
fall
be a good
release, it
time.
needs to be 2023. They
Yeah, that
can't
might be a good
do
time to push it.
they can't obviously they better not do this fall and they can't do fall
No, no, no.
2024, so it would either
Yeah,
have to
so
be fall 2023 or spring 2024.
Yeah, fall
That's what it needs to be.
2023 kind of makes sense if there's no Call of Duty. And when is that new Splinter Cell going to come out? Because I don't like, are they going to push that at the same time as a Ghost Recon game? Well, I guess
Mm,
Splinter Cell remake is not going to play anything like the Blacklist, so it'd be a little
right.
different.
Yeah, and I don't know
All
when
right.
they're going to do that because they basically the leak came out and then they finally actually officially came out and said, you know, it's in early development. So I honestly, ugh,
Who knows?
who knows?
Who knows?
We'll
Yo,
see.
guys, make sure you sub to A Squad. Get your friends to sub to him. We're trying to get him to 80K. Come on, get this guy to 80K.
Also, make sure you guys go over and subscribe to G Money Mozart because Tactical Roundtable would not be Tactical Roundtable without my duo.
Don't subscribe to me. I hate you all, especially Spider. Nah.
Dude, Spider laid into you about that Fortnite.
Go play with your kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him in Discord. Fucking
I believe
bastard.
no COD this year. Yeah, the Modern Warfare 2 is coming out this year. Or I should Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2. Please don't confuse that with the OG goat of video games, Modern Warfare 2. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what more
Jay,
information.
you
Maybe
hate
they'll tease
Spider?
it at
Me too.
Ubisoft Forward.
Subbed. Yeah, Jay, for real. Get him.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
they'll
Ubisoft. Yeah, yeah. We gotta wait for the next Ubisoft Forward. Hopefully, we'll get some stuff there.
even if it's like I said like it was earlier. If you're not ready to show what the game's going to be, there's still work in progress stuff. Dude, do like a voice line of a character from the game. It doesn't have to be anybody that we know. Just do a voice line with a little bit of music or something and a logo. That would be enough to get the Ghost Recon community excited. There would be so much speculation just off of that that I think people would like, they'd be hyped.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. I think we'd be hyped, and then the everyone else would be like, "Whoop de doo, Ubisoft. Your
Yeah,
last game was so bad. All you could show now is a logo." Like, I don't know. I
yeah,
think
we'll see.
I'd rather them hold off to show something that looks amazing. That's like 20-second, 30-second like gameplay clip, trailer, whatever. That's gonna be like, "Oh my fucking god, that looks crazy!" Like some shit like that.
Yeah. And on that note, too, I feel like honestly, too, they need to. For those of you guys that have knows of ITK in the Ghost Recon community, AI Blue Fox, one of the predominant names in the Ghost Recon community, they need to make like Delta Company's cool, but Delta Company has way too many members in it. Way too many members in it. I honestly feel
Yeah,
like it needs to be a very small, tight knit group, like the Breakfast Club. I don't know.
yeah.
That's something that a lot of people don't know about. There was a lot of things in Ghost Recon Wildlands development that got changed because of this like 5 or 6 person group that was known as the Breakfast Club. ITK Amper Camper. I know some of you guys might know Amper Camper. He's actually the community manager for the Division game
I
now.
think AI Blue Fox
Yeah,
was.
AI Blue Fox. They were part of the Breakfast Club that did a lot of really phenomenal changes.
Yeah.
They were it was their
I think
ideas.
one of the biggest ones was, a third person when you could aim in third person. I think they had originally was that you telling me or someone maybe they were
Yes, originally there
could
was no
only
over the shoulder aiming.
yeah, and they
You
were
had
like,
the
"Yo"
third person shooter, but if you aimed, it was locked in first person.
yeah, and they were
There
like,
was
"Yo,
no
you
over
guys
the
crazy."
shoulder shooting, basically.
Yeah, which
So,
I love.
and there was never plans for a PvP. They brought up like, dude, you can't launch this game with like no PvP. That's why there was a PvP like 6 months after launch, was
Yeah,
because they were like, yo, you got to make a PvP for this. You have
yeah,
to. After Future Soldier, you can't not have a PvP. So,
yeah. It just goes to show how much behind the curve they were.
yeah. So, we'll see. Only time will tell. Ubisoft Forward, I would honestly think, is probably within the next, let's call it
Summer.
3 months.
Yeah,
So,
definitely a summer Ubisoft
hopefully
forward.
they'll
We'll
have
see
something to
something.
tease or show or whatever there.
I'm hopefully we get some Heartland info as well. I'm looking
You would
forward to that.
think.
Yeah.
You would think. Real quick, Spider with the 5 bet right now. G misses shooting me in the next operation.
Nope.
Uh,
Dude, I hit 100% of my shots when it's, my teammates.
Havoc
So
also said, "A Squad G Money. Sorry, a little late, guys. Yeah, it's all
yeah,
good, dude.
shout out to Havoc. It's
It
all
was
good, but
kind
I
of a
know
late
it's
thing.
late
I
over
didn't
there.
even really announce that we were doing this until like 3 hours ago. So
Yeah.
the next one will definitely be like announced like a day ahead of time, and we'll get some of the kinks and stuff worked out of it, and it'll be on point. So obviously, we're probably gonna need a topic. So hopefully, there's some new information or something that comes out between now
Nah,
and
we're
then.
just gonna sit here and do what we do best, guys. We're gonna talk shit about Ghost Recon and wish what we want and never get it.
Dude, I'll be honest, we could probably do one of these every week and just kind of brainstorm and chit chat with everybody.
Yeah.
But eventually
Yeah.
it'd get a broken record because we would just repeating exactly what we want over and over again. So we'll see. But
That's right,
like I said, I
cowboy. I'm
think
capping your ass.
yeah, I think it's a pretty good time to wrap things up. I might actually go jump on a little bit of Tarkov. I think G's
Yeah,
gonna go to
sounds good.
bed.
Yes, sir. Got work
So
in the
I
AM.
appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. The massive amount of donos. Can't thank you guys enough. I am gonna try to be putting up more content again and not taking like 4 months off between videos.
Yeah.
Um,
We're gonna get some co-op gameplay going as well. I'm trying to get this guy to freaking get some co-op missions going, trying to get him online to play some games.
dude, that's another thing too. Is I think honestly doing I'll pick up Arma and
Oh, yo, you
there's
heard it here first.
yes,
You heard
yes,
it here
I'm gonna pick
first.
up Arma.
You
And
heard it here
I think I don't know
first.
how to do it, but I kind of want to look into it because there's people made a bunch of Ghost Recon missions in Arma. They're on Steam in the workshop.
Yeah, we'll get it. Oh,
Like
these guys, they set it up good.
yeah, like the Ghost Recon 1, the very first mission in Ghost Recon 1 where you go into the caves and stuff. That's that's made in Arma
Yeah.
fully. Like
Yo, so Jay has a good question. Do we want to cover anything else? Me,
I would cover
I would like to
Sniper
cover
Elite 5. I
Heartland.
kind of want to cover.
Yes, yeah, we'll cover Sniper Elite 5 because we're gonna play that, and I would like to cover Heartland when it comes out. Yo, I think we could cover. I gotta start playing Escape from Tarkov with you. We could cover that as well. Jay, I mean, yo, hit me up in Discord and we could talk about what else to cover. I don't really play Call of
Cowboy,
Duty.
it's happening, y'all. It's confirmed, y'all.
Yo, you know what I'd like to cover, Jay? Fortnite.
Cover
A
your
little bit
ass
of
with bullets.
little bit of Fortnite. Let's talk about
Hey
Fortnite,
man, you can
guys.
go play some Fortnite.
Yeah, talk about Fortnite, guys.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
get
Yeah,
out of here.
for those of you guys that haven't seen stuff on Sniper Elite 5, Sniper Elite 4 was a really good tactical shooter.
Oh, that's what we're gonna do too. A Squad and I, we're gonna beat Sniper Elite 4 together. That's confirmed.
Yeah, we need to go back and play
We
that.
started it. We
Dude,
got
that
to go
night you were
back.
playing it on stream and I'm like, "Yo, I'm going to download this." Oh, dude, I had so much fun on that game.
Yo, dude, we got to get back to it. And we have to beat it. So we got to do a little co-op gameplay and get through Sniper Elite 4 before 5 comes out, which is like what, a month from now. So we're
Month
gonna make
yes,
some.
May 26th.
Yeah, so we're gonna make some plans for that. We're gonna get some more stuff going and really just kick this up a notch.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right. That's where we're going to end it cuz if we keep going, we're just going to ramble and ramble and ramble.
Yeah, yo, I love each and every one of you except Spider. The rest of you, man, love you with all my heart.
Oh, that's
Everybody
awesome.
have a great night.
Yep. Everybody have a good night. Take it easy. Like I said, we'll announce something more proper next time, a little bit more ahead of time. That way you guys are aware. So, all right. Until next time, guys. When in doubt, frag out.
Later,
See you
later,
guys.
guys.